Hi guys, it's Dave here, and in today's video we're going to be doing diminished triads. So before learning diminished triads, I'd recommend that you have your major and minor triads down. I've done a video on my major and minor triads here that you can check out. But if you've got those down, then we can move on to diminished triads. And a diminished triad consists of your root note, your flat third, and your flat fifth. So I will be showing you all the positions you can do a diminished triad in. There are 12 in total, and today we're going to be doing B diminished, but I'd recommend after learning this watching this video and learning all the positions, I recommend you try to find all these positions for every single diminished chord. So without further ado, we'll jump straight into it. First of all, we'll take a look at the diminished triads in our root position. We'll be going over the first inversion and the second inversion also. So every triad we do is going to be a B diminished triad today. So first of all, we are going to play this position here. So we have our little finger on the 7th fret, which is our root note, on the low E string, which is our B. We have our middle finger on the 5th fret of the A string, which is a D, which is our flat third, and then we have our index finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, which is an F, which is our flat fifth. And that is our first diminished triad in root position. Now we want to find the B on the A string. So I'm going to take this one on the 14th fret, and we're just going to do the same shape here, but up on the A string. And that is your second root position diminished triad. Now let's move on to the D string. So on the D string, we're going to find our B note, which is the 9th fret, and we are going to place our middle finger on the 7th fret of the G string and our index finger on the 6th fret of the B string, and we have root, flat third, flat fifth. Cool, and then we'll move on to the G string, where our B is on the 4th fret. Then we're going to place our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string and our index finger on the 1st fret of the E string. Root, flat third, flat fifth. And those are all the root position diminished triads. Now we're going to move on to the first inversion, and the first inversion is our flat third in the bass, and then we'll have the flat fifth and then the root. So let's find the root on the D string this time, because it's going to be the third note in our triad. So that would be on the 9th fret of the D string, and what we're going to do is place our middle finger there, our index finger on the 8th fret of the A string, and our ring finger on the 10th fret of the E string. And we have our first inversion diminished triad, and that is a B diminished. So our flat 3 is in the bass, then our flat 5, then our root is there at the top of the chord. Okay, now we're going to move to the A string, and we're going to place our ring finger on the 5th fret, our first finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and our middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and that is our root note, the 4th fret of the G string. So that is our next first inversion triad. Okay, now we're going to move on to the D string. We are going to place our middle finger on the 12th fret of the D string, our index finger on the 10th fret of the G string, and our ring finger on the 12th fret of the B string. So we have flat third, flat fifth, root. There's another B diminished triad. And our final first inversion triad will be this position here, exactly the same notes, just on a different set of strings, and we are going to place our middle finger on the 7th fret of the G string, our index finger on the 6th fret of the B string, and our ring finger on the 7th fret of the E string. Flat 3rd, flat 5th, root, B diminished. So that's all of our first inversions, and now we'll move on to the second inversion, which has the flat 5th in the bass. So for this one, we are going to start off with, let me move the camera just slightly this way so you can see the 1st fret. So we're going to place our index finger on the 1st fret of the E string, our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we're going to play the D string open, and our second note is the root note in this case, in the second inversion. So we've got flat 5th, root, flat 3rd. That is our first second inversion triad. Now we are going to move to the 8th fret of the A string, the 9th fret of the D string, and the 7th fret of the G string. And our 9th fret of the D string here is our root note. So the lowest note is our flat 5th, then it goes root, then flat 3rd. There's another B diminished triad. And our next second inversion triad will be this shape, kind of like a D chord. So we're going to place our index finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, ring finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And we've got flat 5th, root, flat 3rd. And our final diminished B diminished triad in second inversion will be this shape, which will be our index finger on the 10th fret of the G string, our little finger on the 12th fret of the B string, and our ring finger on the 10th fret of the high E string. And we have flat 5th, root, flat 3rd. So those were all of our diminished triads across the fretboard. Learn these for every single diminished chord. Just remember finding the root notes in the right place, and you'll be really knowledgeable on the diminished triads across the fretboard for any chord. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Drop a comment to let me know how you got on with it. And subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so that you're notified every time I release a new video. And I will see you in the next one.